Now, today I want to share on how to overcome masturbation. After receiving many requests, I did research and compiled message on how you can get delivered from this enemy. Many people are in this prison, but because it is shameful, people don't talk about it, and so they suffer in silence. As we begin, let's see certain things, certain consequences of masturbation. The first thing that masturbation does is to lower your self-image, is to contaminate your self-image. You look down on yourself, and as much as people may admire you outside there, you sympathize with them because you know how dirty you are inside. I mean, sometimes you walk around, you dress well and all those, but what you do in the private makes you reduce your value in your own sight and wonder what thing people see in you. The second thing that masturbation brings is it makes you sexually vulnerable. Someone masturbating can hardly resist sexual temptation. It loses your guards. Any little temptation will fall. And a person in this category may not fall into sexual probably because of love or something, but because of the compelling force in them. Another thing, masturbation contaminates your mind. I mean, thank God thoughts are secret. If someone would make thoughts be audio visual so that someone can hear and see what you're thinking, you'd be surprised what some people think outside here. And so someone in the act of masturbation can have very negative thoughts. They can have very negative imagination. An opposite sex is working, but the kind of picture and episode they build in their mind about that person you can't imagine. And also, masturbation makes someone be very vulgar. They can speak things related to coitus anyhow, anywhere. Why? Because that is the thought that dominates their mind every now and again. And also, masturbation causes fatigue. Someone is just weak because we know how, ejaculation takes a lot of calories. I mean, a lot of energy. Another thing is masturbation makes you feel guilty. Imagine you're serving in church, maybe in praise and worship, or any department, and you're doing this. How do you feel when you're standing in front and serving? Of course, you feel like a hypocrite. It makes you feel very dirty. It makes you feel very dirty. You could be talented and sharing from your heart, but this thing is weighing your spirit down. And you may think that you are very far from God. You may think you have not been forgiven, and any wrong thing that happens to you, you relate it to masturbation. You think this thing is happening to me because of what I do. So it makes you think, and it reduces your faith in God. You don't serve God because you view yourself as a sinner, dirty, and nothing good can happen to you. That is it. And so, to overcome masturbation, there are two major important things that you have to put in place. And the first one, you have to hate it. If you don't hate it and you still justify it, you will never overcome. You must, first of all, hate it seriously and be strongly willing to come out of it. But so long as you still justify it, this is a way of relieving myself and all kinds of way of, justifying the situation, you'll never come out. Another thing, believe that you can come out. Believe that it is possible you can come out of it. No matter how many years you've done it, believe still you can come out of it. I know many people who have done it for 10 years, more than 10 years, 20 years, but they finally came out of it. And the truth is that masturbation is not a respecter of age. There are many people who are married, but they still do it. Many people are old and they still do it. Why? It is a bondage, and once you enter, coming out is not easy. If you don't handle the root cause of the problem and only talk on how to come out, then you'll only be pruning the problem but I want us to uproot it. And so let's talk about certain triggers of masturbation. And the first one is pornography. Pornography ignites your sexual urge. And even after that, the episode will still be playing in your mind, stirring your sexual lust. And what happens next? You find a way of relieving yourself faster and easiest, which is definitely your gaze is right. Another trigger is sex-inducing music. I mean, there are some music, you listen to them and watch them, it's like you're watching mini pornography. Such music, if you keep watching and listening to them, they pile the sexual lust in you. And what happens next? Definitely. Another thing is sexual fantasy. Some people keep some certain images of people they admire, either physically or mentally. And so when they are relaxed, probably in the night and they're sleeping, and they fantasize about those people, they imagine themselves together. They imagine themselves engaging in coitus. What next? Definitely masturbation. Another thing is dirty talks. When you're in company of people who talk sex, things associated with sex too much, people who talk dirty stuff, and you keep listening to such, it puts your mind on a negative mode. And what next? Definitely. Another thing is voyeurism. Now, voyeurism is when someone peeps to either to watch some people naked or to watch some people, copulating. When you are someone of that kind, you can easily fall into masturbation. You like peeping to watch people bathing. You like peeping to watch people doing stuff. That is called voyeurism. It's a major trigger of pornography. Another thing is sexting. Someone is not close, but you are chatting through text, WhatsApp, or any other form. But you are discussing sex in the chatting. Physically the person is not there, but mentally you are together. That after that, of course, the person is not there, but after describing everything and putting your mind in that mode, the moment you finish, what next? You conclude it with masturbation. Another thing is lasciviousness. For example, you see people who likes touching the opposite sex anyhow. Touching people anyhow. Sometimes you see them behaving, holding someone on their laps, and all kinds of things. If you're someone struggling with masturbation, then when you engage in lascivious activities, then you're putting yourself at serious risk of masturbation. It's something that can really put you down. Another thing is social media. If you're struggling with the same, then there are certain sites that you may not need to visit, because they can ignite your sexual lust. For example, there are some sites where you see people twerking, wiggling, anyhow, some people gyrating. Such kind of sites can ignite you negatively, and it may trigger this kind of negative acts. So you may deliberately need to avoid them for the sake of your own deliverance. Another one is non-sexual but romantic relationships. This is for maybe Christians or people who believe in no sex before marriage. You could be dating someone, but you are having romantic affairs, even though you don't engage in the real act, but you engage in the accessories. I'm getting that. That can induce masturbation. And so if you've made up your mind you won't have the coitus before marriage, then keep certain boundaries. If you involve yourself in in romance, it will result to this. And I also I don't know about you, probably your opinion and the rest, but I don't encourage long relationships that take, years, 5 years onwards. If you made up your mind, decide it and let it, you people legalize it and proceed with life. Now, there are certain things that probably could make it easy for someone to engage in masturbation. For example, if you realize that it is when you go to the bathroom, that is when you engage in it. If you discover that environment makes you vulnerable, make up your mind, get there, take your bath or any business that takes you there, and leave there immediately. Don't stay there for too long. Another thing, if you know you are vulnerable, then don't involve yourself in the act of joking around with your genitals and all this. Just avoid it completely. If you discover that is when you are depressed, you engage in such, then see on how you can handle it. Probably you may need to involve some company around you, or so that at least you are kept busy, or find something to do, maybe an activity that can keep you busy until you are tired, so that you only go and sleep straight away. How then do we come out of it? You discover that as you are handling the triggers, we are also handling ways to come out. But there are a few here which I will suggest that if you add with the previous ones, then you definitely overcome it. The first one is avoid wrong company. If you discover that there are people you associate with that discuss certain things that trigger the sexual lust in you, then you rather avoid them for the sake of your well-being. Another thing is that have accountability partner. That is someone you share your predicament with, someone who understands you, not someone who will mock you, but someone who understands, who is mature enough to understand what you're going through and understand that you are willing to come out, that will guide you every day. Someone that whenever you feel like committing the act, you can tell them, please, I'm going through this, I'm feeling like this, and they can advise you. Accountability partner is very important. If probably you're spiritual, you can go to a pastor or any spiritual authority that can help you walk through that journey. It's very, very important. Then replace wrong habits with the right one. If there are certain things that provoke you, probably you like watching pornography, you like doing all kinds of things, then you rather find something to replace it with. You can involve yourself in some games, reading books, listening to quality music, or simply exchange the kind of video you watch to productive ones that can give you quality mental nourishment. It's just a replacement. Now, number one thing that has been found is that getting rid of a habit is very difficult. And so the fastest way to deal with the habit is replacing it with a positive one. Another one is, of course, this is the last one, and I want to address it very well. As much as masturbation is a physical act, it has a lot of spiritual connection. And the devil uses masturbation to deal with the people seriously. The best way the devil packages himself is to make you think that he's not there. He works well as an anonymous, so that you think this is your problem, but he comes in to torment you with your own weakness. The fastest way the devil destroys people is making you not believe in yourself. The moment you start looking down on yourself, the moment you develop low self-esteem, believe me, you can never achieve your full potential. And even if you're achieving something and you think you're achieving it, believe me, there are more you can still do. If you walk through this journey and overcome masturbation, you will appreciate the freedom that you're missing. And so, to overcome this, I suggest that you get spiritual intervention. Pray about it. Get a spiritual authority to help you walk this journey, to help you pray about it. That handles the devil aspect. Well, I'm a Christian. I don't know, probably people of other faith, I don't know how they handle it. But whenever such thoughts enter your mind, just tell God, this is what I'm thinking. and I don't like it. I know you can lead to this. Please, Father, cleanse my mind. Immediately that spirit will disappear. I mean, don't think God is far there in heaven. Assume it's someone that is close to you that you can speak with and address the reality that you're facing. Just tell him what you're experiencing. This is what I'm feeling. Right now, I'm feeling a strong urge to do it. And I know it is not right and I hate it. I want to take it out of my life. Please help me. If you do that consistently, you realize that the desire for masturbation will keep fading off day by day and you will overcome. It is not easy, but also involves strong will. If you make up your mind you want to stop it, please give yourself certain time. Maybe I won't do it for the next 3 days. Then if you overcome the 3 days, I won't do it for the next 1 week. You keep on doing it that way until you find yourself, going weeks, months, and you finally the lust for that will break off completely and you'll be free. Thank you so much. And in case you have anything you'd like us to talk about, kindly send me an email so I can develop it and we change lives together. Thank you.